Adoa TV, bringing good things to life.
Hello there and welcome to the news at 6 on Adoatv. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. The evening news is brought to you by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Vena Mineral Water and Blue City Ties and Accessories. My name is Benedicta Dodo. Now let's take a look at our top stories for tonight's bulletin. The minority in parliament says government must learn to respect the people's choice. This follows the brouhaha in relation to the recently appointed MMDCEs. And in some more local stories, some 4 suspected gay men have been slapped with an 11,000 Ghana cedi fine up north. And in business, CEO of Delex Finance has employed government to empower the private sector to cut down unemployment. And finally, in sports, CAF President Patrice Motsepe is on a 2-day visit to Ghana. We're bringing you details of these stories and more in this bulletin. Now, moving on to our first story, following the all by the abuse of procedures in the approval of nominees witnessed in some MMDAs, the minority member on Parliament's Local Government and Rural Development Committee is calling for the rerunning of all disgraced processes in these MMDAs manipulated from exercising their constitutional mandate. Their ranking member, Neelante Vanderpoel, who led a presser with the Parliamentary Press Corps, asked that the president respects the will of the people and stop imposing those nominees who have been rejected twice.
Their call follows the acts of violence, brutalization, intimidation and generally abuse of the procedure and process by government officials, agents and in some cases with the convenience of some local, public and civil servants who are supposed to be apolitical in all their activities. MMDAs like Asin South, Bibiani and Hwiaso Bekwai, Takwa and Swahim among others. The minority caucus lamented over the abysmal performance, including the invoking of cases during the elections of some MMDCEs widely consulted by the president before their appointment.
Awed by the abuse of the processes and procedures in the approval of the nominees as witnessed in some MMDAs. For purposes of clarity, we would mention a few. Ghanaians should be concerned with what happened in Asin South, Bibiani and Hwiaso Bekwai, Takwa Nswayem, Swaman, Ewutu Senya West, Cape Coast Municipal, Sechere Kumewu, and other places. Asin South. In the Asin South District Assembly, the MPP regional chairman is alleged to have used intimidation, coercion, and assault on assembly members perceived to be against the nominee. It was shameful how the regional chairman of the MPP is led to have used about 30 fully armed men with about 22 in police uniform and the rest in mufti to prevent honorable assembly members from entering the hall where the second voting for the nominee was taking place.
They therefore call on the president and the sector minister to do the needful.
On the president and the minister for local government, rural development and decentralization to immediately order a rerun of all the disgraceful processes in the Bibiani and Hwiaso Bekwai, Asin South, Sechere Kumewu, Cape Coast and others where the process were manipulated to prevent non-assembly members from exercising their constitutional mandate. We are asking the president to respect the will of the people and stop imposing all those nominees who have been twice rejected by the assembly members, as in Cape Coast, Laura, and others.
Again, the Minister for Local Government, the ranking member, disclosed is to immediately set in motion a mechanism to repair the damaged relationship between the assembly members and would-be MMDCEs.
We are asking the Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Decentralization to immediately set in motion a mechanism to repair the damaged relationship and cooperation between the assembly members of all these mentioned MMDAs and the would-be MMDCEs in order to foster unity, cooperation, and partnership for development in our districts. We are asking the Local Government Service to organize a series of intensive workshops for all its staff in the MMDAs on good and responsible human relations and congenial working environment in order to repair the demoralized confidence of its staff who have been witnesses to all these disgraceful acts in the approval process.
However, the Odododo legislator disclosed that upon the resumption of the House, they will urge Parliament to look at the constitutional provision.
We wish to state that on resumption of the House, we shall urge this August Parliament to look at the constitutional provision, the Act, and the model standing orders of the assemblies to streamline and strengthen the process and procedures for conducting assembly meetings, especially the special meeting called for such approvals to avoid characters and power-drunk dictators from abusing the democratic processes envisaged under our laws.
Subsequently, they called on the IGP to investigate all those reported cases of abuse of the processes, assault, intimidation, among others.
We are calling on the IGP to cause an investigation into all those reported cases of the abuse of the processes, assault, intimidation, threats, and fiscal manhandling of assembly members and MPs in those MMDAs reported, and take disciplinary actions to prevent further deterioration of the confidence of the people in our security agencies and erase the impression of our men in uniform being used as tools for oppression and subjugation. We are also asking the IGP to explain to Ghanaians the unexpected and huge deployment of personnel in most of these cases, because we are not sure we are in a police state. Further asking the IGP to cease the unwarranted prosecution of the aggrieved assembly members in Asin South for perpetually raining curses on people who deprive them of their right to vote, and rather render an unqualified apology to them for the way they were handled.
Comptroller and Accountant General's Department has repealed its decision not to pay public sector workers if they do not have a Ghana card. Now, government workers risked forfeiting their December 2021 salaries per an initial directive from the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department. The move was said to be part of government's plan to provide a secured and verified payroll services to government workers.
The Comptroller and Accountant General's Department has repealed its decision not to pay public sector workers if they do not have a Ghana card. Government workers risked forfeiting their December 2021 salaries per an initial directive from the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department. The move was said to be part of the Government of Ghana's efforts to deliver a speedy, secured and verified payroll service to government employees and pensioners while reducing the risk of undeserving payment or claims. But the government, through consultations with the Ministries of Employment and Labour Relations, Finance and the Accountant General, have backtracked over concerns raised by labour unions. A communique issued after a joint meeting on Tuesday, October 19, 2021, the two ministries have asked the CAGD to port the names of public sector workers in their existing databases on the NIA platform and thereafter inform the various institutions of any unregistered staff that may exist. With this latest intervention, the December ultimatum given to workers on the government payroll to acquire Ghana cards before receiving their pay is no longer going to take effect. However, state institutions have been advised to encourage their staff members to register with the National Identification Authority to secure the Ghana card as soon as possible. There have been agitations by a section of government workers and unions since the department issued a directive on Tuesday, October 12, 2021, with some asking the Controller and Accountant General to reconsider the directive and withdraw it completely or have the deadline extended. According to organized labor, the NIA should bear the responsibility of capturing government workers on its database and not compel them to secure the cards. They insisted that the decision is a lazy approach towards addressing lapses in the government's payroll system. The National Identification Authority, however, justified the directive, saying it is a step in the right direction. Earlier, the CAGD said it will not withdraw its directive.
Now, since yesterday, Shatawale has almost dominated all news portals following his arrest. In relation to that, a retired appeals court justice, Isaac Dose, has questioned the police service over the arrest of the prophet whose prophecy Shatawale claims necessitated his fake gun attack. Now describing the renowned musician's prank as irresponsible, Justice Isaac Dose says he doubts Shatawale will have a defense that is a good defense in court, as he has described the prophet as a fake one. He spoke to Isaac Otu.
In a case like this, if he had a lawyer, he should have reported the matter to his lawyer, and the lawyer would have taken it up, and not for himself to do what he has done. If you're one of these young and up-and-coming musicians who has no money, then I will not blame him. But where he has reached now, he should mature. So he should grow up.
How then do you describe it?
Irresponsible. It takes away his credibility and his defense, some of it. But maybe he has some other things that he will say which I'm not aware of. So he shouldn't have done anything the way he had done it. He has even put some of his boys in trouble by using their phones to do the communication.
Who have been picked up?
And they might have a defense, I don't know. So he has come out to say that he has used their phones to do what he wants to do. If he was really going to do something which was genuine, why didn't he use his own phone? And this is a misdemeanor. If he goes before the courts, the judge can warn him. They find him guilty and warn him. So that the thing can be from 1 day to 3 years, or a fine. He will not have a very strong defense to the case. He himself has been declared that he didn't. If you say that the prophet is fake, then it means you didn't believe what he was saying. And if you didn't believe in what he was saying, why did you go take all of us through this rigmarole?
Now, 4 suspected gays are in the grips of the Tamale police after escaping mob attack by residents of the metropolis. By virtue of tradition, the 4 suspects have been slapped with an 11,000 Ghana cedi fine and a sheep for purging the land of an abomination. Nuruddin Ibrahim has the rest of the story.
4 young men have been detained by the Tamale police after they narrowly escaped mob attack by some residents. According to reports, the 4 suspects are believed to be gay, as some people overheard 2 of them arguing over their love affair on the streets of Agri Forest, a suburb of Tamale. Some residents, after realizing the misunderstanding between the 2, accosted them to the Shegu Nurse Palace. The 2, after interrogation, mentioned the names of the other 2. The 4 of them have been charged with an 11,000 Ghana cedis fine and a sheep for the purposes of purifying the land before they were handed over to the Tamale police for further investigations. The chief of Chogo, Na Muhammad Hassan, speaking directly to the suspect at his palace, said, "Their act has angered the gods of Tamale, and he prays the Lord deals with them decisively." Yakubu Haruna, speaking on behalf of Choguna, said the chiefs in the country can stop the canker if the state authority can involve them in the fight. According to him, the chiefs of the north can enforce laws to curb the canker if the law will allow.
I can't say much, but I would have said it won't help us in any way if the parliament could at least, if not anything, vote against it, not in favor of it. It would have helped the country. Islamically, it won't take us anywhere. It is rather going to bring more calamities to us. Our imams have been saying that it is some small aspect of God's punishment that he gave to us in the world. And we are saying cover your mouth, wash your hands. I am telling you what happened to Prophet Noah, his regime. If it is to befall on us today, I don't think we all like it. And if my chief would have had his own way within our jurisdiction, we could have prevented. But as I keep saying, we are in the state of law. But if the lawmakers in Ghana could resist it, it would have helped us. We, at our various levels, would have enforced to see how best, if not stop it, but at least bring it to the lowest, as it is growing in the country. At least we would have do our possible to see. I'm not alone. I work in hand with a lot of youth chiefs around. I can't have an issue with that inviting the Zaki into the system. I can't have an issue without inviting.
In the north, motorbikes numbering about 344 have been impounded in the northern regional capital, Tamale. The operation was jointly executed by the Regional Police Command and personnel from the Driving and Vehicle License Authority, DVLA, in the Tamale Metropolis. Nuruddin Ibrahim has more details in the following report.
The Northern Regional Police Command, in sync with the Regional Driving and Vehicle License Authority (DVLA), in a bid to cut down motorbike-related crimes in the metropolis, have impounded 340 motorbikes. Addressing journalists on the operations, COP Timotiosa said the police conducted the operation to save riders' lives and further curb armed robbery-related cases in the region. He said most of the armed robbery recorded cases recently have been associated with motorbike riders. According to him, out of the 344 arrested persons, 285 bikes were not registered, with 59 riders not wearing crash helmets.
And as we have gathered this, we have arrested this motorbike, it is also a point for us to screen them, because they could be, some of them could be stolen motorbikes. So as we do all these things, we are also screening to get those who are stolen the rest. So it's a time of grace. Come, pay the registration. DVLA will establish their table here to register you, register the motorbike for you. After registration, when it is done, the police will release the motorbike for you. At least from now up to, let's say, by Friday. But the subsequent ones, when we do it, when we arrest you, we will want to prosecute you. Because we have done enough sensitization that people by now should have gone to register their motorbikes and vehicles. Done enough sensitization.
COP Yosabonga, however, indicated that those arrested will not be arraigned before court, but will, however, be compelled to get the motorbikes registered in accordance to the law.
Few days. The motorbikes or vehicles that will arrest and register, we will not prosecute them, we will not send them to court. What we will do is that you should come with your documents. Come here, see the DVLA to register your motorbike or your vehicle for you before you take it. When it is done, we will release the motorbike for you. By the subsequent ones, maybe after 3 days or 4 days, when you are arrested, then it will be time for you to be prosecuted. So this one, let's say for today up to Friday, the exercises that we will do, we will grant them that grace period, that moratorium, that the DVLA will register them before they are released. If you don't come with your documents for DVLA to register them for you, we will not release them for you. Then it means that you want to be prosecuted.
Some residents of Young Dakbamyili have been displaced following some chieftaincy disputes that ensued in the community. According to reports, there has been resistance between two brothers over who is the legitimate chief for the Young Dakbamyili community, a suburb of Tamale in the northern region.
In February 2021, a gun battle and confrontation between supporters of the two parties led to the burning of homes numbering about 20 in Yondekpeili community. Again, bags of foodstuffs were burnt in the field. Residents whose homes were destroyed fled to adjoining communities for safety and accommodation. Some of the affected residents have, however, begun to return to the community to start life all over again. The community at the time of the visit was calm. Few residents were seen going about the activities with children playing around. Eritani Abdul Fattah, whose compound house with 23 rooms got burnt, now seeks refuge in a mosque cubicle with his entire household. During a follow-up to the community to ascertain the living condition of the affected victims, the returnee Abdul Fattah was seen occupying a portion of a mosque that has been reserved for children to study Arabic as their temporary apartment. As a landlord with 2 wives and 18 children in this kind of situation, it is really difficult and worrying at the same time. My entire building was burned into ashes during the dispute. Staying in this building with my family is not the best at all. The sad thing is that we were not part of the violence, but some people took advantage of the incident to execute their own ulterior agenda. We're begging government and NGOs to come to our aid because we are really suffering. He told Adoa News he escaped an attack during the chieftaincy confrontation, but his entire family and his residents have been rendered homeless. He bemoaned his current condition, noting that staying in a building reserved for children to study Arabic is disturbing, inhumane, and frustrating. According to him, he has been able to construct a foundation for a new building close to the mosque, but he has run out of money and therefore appealed to government and NGOs to come to his aid. He charged the security agencies to speed up with investigations and bring the perpetrators of the crime to book. Daughter of the returnee, Khadija Abdul Fattah, says life has not been easy since the incident happened, adding that her father had to cough out money to buy new books and school uniforms for her. According to her, the incident had affected her studies a lot, which she prays shall not repeat itself in the near future.
I'm the daughter of one of the man who has got paint currently. And I'm in secondary school. I attended Bisco Senior High. And the incident affected me so much because I was a day student. And most of my clothes and my books got paint. And it affected me. My father had to sew new uniform for me to go back to school. We just finished writing our exams this year, and it's affected my studies, almost everything about me. And even getting the this thing, the first to go to the school was a big mistake. Like I was say, what it was not easy for me. So I want to plead with you people to come out and help us. We need your help. Please, we need your help. We want you people to come and help us.
Also, in Bafa, a victim whose house was attacked and burnt used the opportunity to call on corporate bodies and state authorities for support, revealing that his wife and children have relocated to nearby communities due to accommodation challenges. This, he said, has made his life miserable. I have lost everything. My house, my family, they are all gone. I don't have anything on me. Feeding has become a problem, including where to sleep. Sometimes I beg for food from homes. Myself and all those who have been affected by this incident need support from NGOs and government because we are really suffering.
Meanwhile, the National Association of Law Students, NALS, and the aggrieved 2021 candidates of the Ghana School of Law entrance exams hit the streets of Accra earlier today, October 20, 2021, to register their displeasure over what they describe as injustice at the Ghana School of Law. The demonstration, dubbed Red Wednesday, saw the presentation of petition to the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Speaker of Parliament to intervene. Nanaya Addo has more.
Demonstrations started in the early hours of Tuesday, where protesters were gathered at the convergence point. Protesters clad in red had placards with inscriptions like "Open up legal education, justice for all 499 students, JLC are not above the law, the youth are losing hope in Ghana, reform legal education," among others. Starting from the Independence Square, the protesters walked through some principal streets of Accra to the Parliament House, where a petition was submitted by the leadership of the aggrieved 499 candidates to the Speaker, but was received on his behalf by the Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu.
President of the National Association of Law Students. We also have aggrieved law students with us today. We are presenting this petition to you, as you may be well aware. There's been a lot of agitations when it comes to legal education in Ghana. One of the things that we are requesting for immediately would be to admit all the 499 students who passed their exams and yet are being denied admission to the law school. We feel that by the rules set by the IEC, that is the Education Committee, they are supposed to be admitted as per their rules. But unfortunately, a new rule came out after the exam, which we feel is unreasonable and unacceptable because it cannot be justified.
Receiving the petition, the Tamale South lawmaker assured the protesters that Parliament will address their concern when their guest house comes back from its long break.
Right Honorable Speaker and the leadership of Parliament, we have received your petition as representatives of the people. We will subject it to a thorough scrutiny and debate, and consequential action arising thereof. You will be apprised of it adequately.
Later, the aggrieved protesters moved on to the Jubilee House to present their petition to the President, Emmanuel Eduma Bosman, who is the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations at the Presidency, and he received it on behalf of the President. In receiving the petition, he said, "The initial petition that was presented by the 499 students has been submitted to the Attorney General, Godfred Odame, to commence its investigations."
On behalf of the 499, it is very important for you to know, as I told your leadership, that the initial petition that was brought has been submitted to the Attorney General to commence work on it. As it is now, we have to be patient and wait for that process to be exhausted. We are quite optimistic that, at the very least, some workable proposals will come out for the benefit of not just the 499, but for repeat students, for transition students, for students who are inclined to take the post-core option, so that holistically and realistically we'll deal with this matter once and for all.
Some of the aggrieved candidates poured out their frustration.
We sat for an entrance exam, and 499 of us passed the exam. We passed the minimum threshold, but we are being told we have failed. And we think this is a great injustice to us. And so We are fighting for our rights this morning.
I'm here this morning because I don't have money to go to Gambia. If I go to Gambia and come back, I'll have to come and pay DLC almost £6,000 just to become a lawyer. Once I can be a lawyer here in Ghana. So they should open up legal education and stop the entrance exams. Doctors and professors have cleared me for all the courses they are going to examine me on. So there's no need to write an entrance exam. Moreover, I even passed.
Evening news on Adoatv. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. The news continues shortly.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
CB will make up now. I'm correct. What's your best mankasa? That's it. Oh, middle. You captures back on CB men capsules. You see, CB men capsules and make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew the dada. And one year packaging I have a
wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
She are painful. Any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du ye. Enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamwase.
Adoa 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Welcome back. Now, in business tonight, the Chief Executive Officer of Delex Finance, Mr. Kenneth Thompson, says government must empower the private sector to fund economic development. He continued by saying government should not increase taxes but widen the tax net.
We are broke. I mean, I've been saying for the last 5 years, we are broke. If you're spending more than 90% of your income on 2 line items, you are broke. You are broke. Let's say fiscal space, you are broke. I mean, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's all what's on the bridge. Debt is debt. You've got to pay for it. Fine. I don't want to get into the discussion as to whether or not how it came about, why it's accumulated. It doesn't matter. But going forward, let's empower the private sector to fund economic development. And the only way the private sector will get involved is if we know the people we are lending to. Ghanaians are not thieves. We are not different from people in Canada. My young man is from Canada. But any economist will tell you that to change behavior, you must provide incentives. And there's no incentive for people to pay back the money they borrow. So nobody will lend. How simple is that? Guys, let's be real. How simple is that? The government hasn't got capacity to borrow. When they say fiscal policy, it's taxation and spending. It's already tight. You're going to increase taxes? You can't do that. You're going to probably widen the tax net. You spend, you don't have money to spend. It's the private sector that can spend. If we had systems that provided an incentive for people to lend, this young man here will give you $20 million tomorrow.
How does
it's as simple as that.
How does,
this is not.
How does government do that? We see the current government doing one district, one fund.
Forget
supporting.
It's okay. It's okay. All you're not listening. You're not listening. What I'm saying is that. Thank you. Make the digitization process, quicken the pace. The Ghana card, link it to SNIT, link it to bank accounts, link it to land registry, link it to birth and death. What else? Link it to GRA. Give me access. I will pay. Let me know the person who I'm dealing with. Let me know whether he's credible enough to give to. If he doesn't pay me, if I put it online, I shut the person down. So for whatever you want, you've got to fight for it. So it's part of a process. We've got to keep talking, we've got to keep pushing. And who's the government? We are the government. Whoever rules us, we put them there. So we've got to keep pushing, keep engaging. That's when you have change. But to say that I talked, they didn't listen to me, really, it doesn't happen. Just because you're right, just because Ken Thompson is right, doesn't mean people listen to me. I've got to engage. I've got to convince. I've got to talk to people. I've got to form a coalition. I've got to think of how I'm going to start and how I'm going to build that coalition. I've got to know that as I'm speaking now, I have a clear picture in mind what I expect to happen. But it's not a smooth road. It'll be like this and it's like that, and that's the way life works. So keep talking. When you start getting tired of saying something, that's when people begin to listen. Don't stop talking.
Banks operating in the country held the biggest share of the country's total domestic debt as of the end of June this year. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, the bank holdings of domestic debt was 52.61 billion, about 30.3%. Comparing it to the same period last year, banks' holdings in the country's domestic debt dropped marginally. It was estimated at 31% during the same period in 2020. Now, the Bank of Ghana held the third largest share of the domestic debt of about 34.6 billion cedis, representing 20% of the share of the total domestic debt.
According to data from the Bank of Ghana, the bank holdings of domestic debt was 52.6 billion Ghana cedis, about 30.3% of gross domestic product, whilst net share of the country's domestic debt was estimated at 574.1 million Ghana cedis. That makes the percentage of 0.3%. That of the insurance companies was at 949.1 billion Ghana cedis, 0.5% of gross domestic product. Meanwhile, non-resident investors held 33.8 billion Ghana cedis of the total debt stock, of the total domestic debt stock, representing 19.5% of the total share. This indicates a decrease in the holdings compared to the same period last year. Foreign holdings, however, estimated at about 20.3%. Public debt stock hit 335.9 billion Ghana cedis as of July 2021. Ghana's total public debt stock went up by 3.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2 months to hit 335.9 billion Ghana cedis. That's equivalent to 57.9 billion United States dollars at the end of July 2021. This, according to the summary of economic and financial data by the Bank of Ghana reviewed. This is equivalent to 76.4% of gross domestic product. However, the rate of increase slowed down compared to 27.8 billion Ghana cedis fresh funds added in April and in May 2021. The government had indicated in the insurance calendar in July 2021 that its borrowing will slow down in the third quarter of this year, that is July to September 2021, as it is expected to borrow less than a billion cedis for the entire 3 months. According to the data from the Bank of Ghana, domestic debt went up to 173.9 billion Ghana cedis in July 2021 from 170.8 billion Ghana cedis in May 2021, and this is equivalent to 39.5% of gross domestic product.
That is it for business. Next is sports.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Water. But when I get your mouth, and then so you are fired.
Malaria and tea. But you are yet more bono. Malaria there for you. Enti awo. I shouldn't the customers. When you say mammy, I am smart. I perceive Malakio. I'm man the buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a pianisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want to mean.
And smell Emma when we are at war. So we are malaria test. Maybe one. And try better one. And the CB Malakio. You didn't know. And now I can't bomb a son so I CB Malakio. And no one so there. And I don't grow. I yet tata shit.
A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada one in fear.
Susiana. What would you win?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you mu adia to Musa again.
Wow, October is here already and it's time for the world to go pink and pay attention to the chest of a woman. My name is Rebecca Donko, the founder of Makeup Ghana and the president of College of Beauty, Art and Entrepreneurship. And I'm excited about being the campaign ambassador for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an initiative by Sonotech Medical Center. And I consider this initiative a very important CSR, and I'm glad to be associated with an intervention which seeks to give hope and save lives. Awareness surrounding breast cancer is very important as it provides information on early detection and management. And these timely information can save lives. Know that breast cancer is treatable and manageable. So the whole of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get screened at any of the 3 branches of Sonotech Medical Center, either the Osu branch, the Tema, or the West Hills Mall, with 50% discounts on breast ultrasound and 20% on mammogram. And remember that breast cancer awareness is important, but so is breast health awareness. So let us all endeavor to play our part in giving hope and saving lives. Thank you and stay blessed.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to some sports news now. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Edwin Simon Okreku, has admonished elite referees to professionally in their dealings and work hard to bring Ghana back to where we belong in the football ecosystem. He said his administration will continue to invest in referees to make the profession attractive and lucrative. President Simon Okreku said this when he visited the elite referees at the Ghana Man Center of Excellence at Prom during his training ahead of the 2021-22 season that will kick off on Friday, October 29th, 2021.
We have a new season just around the corner. A season that promises to be very interesting. A season that could be very, very challenging. A season that would bring in its wake everything about football. It is that season that each one of you has to rise up and be counted. It's a season that I expect all of you to give up your best. From the chairman here, to the chairman there, to the instructors, both technical and physical, this is the time for all of us to stand up and play our parts. We have been discussing about getting insurance policy for referees in this country. Hold on to the club until I come here and officially announce it. But inshallah, it will work. Alex Kote has been in the forefront of our desire to introduce VAR in this country. He's been through trainings, meetings, and I can assure you that we are on the right track. And soon, we should be able to be part of that first group of African countries to use VAR. At least in West Africa, eh?
President of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has arrived in Accra today for a two-day visit. The South African businessman who took over the reins of CAF from Ahmad Ahmad in March this year will attend a number of programs during his stay.
South African billionaire Patrice Motsepe is in Ghana for a two-day working visit. During his visit, Dr. Motsepe would be the special guest at the Youth Connect program, an initiative of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. He will meet President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at a dinner event in Accra this evening to brainstorm on how to transform the African youth and policies and programs for the development of African football. The Ghana Football Association (GFA) will later organize a breakfast meeting for him at the Kempinski Hotel, where he will meet the Youth and Sports Minister, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, football stakeholder, Ghana Football Association Executive Council members, corporate Ghana, past and present football administrators, and the media. Dr. Patrice Motsepe will round up his visit with a donation at the Jolu Special School before a brief session with Ghana's Sports Minister Honorable Mustafa Yusuf on Thursday evening. Dr. Motsepe will also have an interaction with the media at the conference room of the Ghana Football Association at midday on Thursday, October 21, 2021. This is Dr. Patrice Motsepe's first visit to Ghana since he was elected in office as president of the Confederation of African Football in March 2021. Motsepe succeeded Ahmad Ahmad as CAF president, who is serving a two-year FIFA ban over governance issues. Motsepe would be the first South African to lead CAF, following in the footsteps of two Egyptians, a Sudanese, an Ethiopian, a Cameroonian, and a Malagasy.
Finally, the ambassador of Spain to Ghana, His Excellency Javier Gutierrez, has paid a courtesy call on the Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, to discuss issues of mutual benefit to their respective countries. The mission of this visit is to enter partnership agreement with the Ministry for the Development of Sports in the country.
The Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, is warmly welcomed the ambassador of Spain to Ghana, His Excellency Javier Gutierrez, to his office, and noted that the visit was an important one since there are several areas of collaboration and the two countries could discuss, which will in turn bring opportunities to the youth of both countries. He noted that there's a huge gap between population growth and economic growth in Ghana, resulting in youth unemployment. According to the minister, the focus of government is in the area of agribusiness and the provision of the 21st century digital skills to the youth of the country to make them independent and skilled to engage in their own businesses. He indicated that since Spain is noted for excellence as far as football is concerned, it would be necessary to collaborate in the areas of exchange programs for Premier League coaches, match commissioners, referees, among others. Honorable Yusuf underscored the need to revive the Winneba Sports College by entering into a partnership agreement with interested partners and therefore called on the ambassadors to collaborate with the ministry in that direction. The ambassador, on his part, noted that different Spanish institutions were interested in having scholarship and training programs to build the capacities of the youth. He called for more participation and involvement of the youth and closer relationship between the two countries.
That is how we wrap up tonight on the evening news on Adoa TV. A recap of our top stories. The minority in parliament says government must learn to respect the people's choice. This follows the brouhaha in relation to the recently appointed MMDCEs. And in some more local stories, some 4 suspected gay men have been slapped with an 11,000 Ghana cedi fine up north. In business, CEO of Delex Finance has implored government to empower the private sector to cut down unemployment. And in sports, CAF President Patrice Motsepe is on a 2-day visit to Ghana. For more news, log on to our website, www.adanewsonline.com. Thanks to Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Verna Drinking Water, and Blue City Ties and Accessories. Remember, we are still in the month of pink. Make sure you walk into any of Sonotec's branches at Osu, West Hills Mall, or Tema for your free breast screening. Remember, they are also giving 50% off breast ultrasound and 20% off all mammograms. Make sure you don't miss this. My name is Benedicta Dodu. Thanks for staying with us. Enjoy the rest of our programs.